Preble Town Board meeting for April 10th, 2023. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes from March?
Motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Jen?
Dog control, 2 strays were picked up in the town previous months have now been adopted. The justice report, $7,805 in fines were collected in March.
Okay. Highway report, we'll wait for Jeff to get back. Hopefully he makes it tonight after being out for a call. Recreation report. We have no recreation report. County legislator, we don't have Kevin here tonight. I know. Jen?
Zoning and code enforcement March report, 0 building permits issued, 87 miles traveled, 9 building inspections, 52 hours worked, 3 fire inspections, 11 complaint follow-ups, 39 telephone inquiries. The planning board has 2 meetings coming up. One is this Wednesday, April 12th, for a special meeting to review the comprehensive plan. And then their regular meeting, April 26th. And the ZBA's next meeting is May 4th.
Okay. Thanks, Jen. Historian, no report today.
Town clerk fees collected in March, $246. Dispersed $239 to the town of Preble and $7 to New York State Ag and Markets.
Thanks, Jen. Start with unfinished business, LED street lighting. Jen? Anything new?
Yep. I sent a email to Bradley Smith from National Grid and verifying that we would like to take the option to have a utility owned option for them owning the lights and doing the maintenance and everything. And then the second item was we would go to Tariff B, the 25-watt LED option for the residential roads, and Tariff C for the 48-watt LED option for the main roads. And then I told them the one main question the board had that would like to be the answer is, if it is the LED a smart light which has surveillance capabilities, which is not desired, so I'm asking for that.
You didn't get an answer yet?
No,
Okay.
I was late in doing it, but he was on vacation last week, and
Right.
so he should be getting back to me though.
Maybe there's different varieties, because I know there are some that have,
I already asked for the
Yeah.
white light,
right,
and it wasn't available.
yeah,
I can ask again if there's another option besides
yeah,
the white light was the
Full-
lower.
full spectrum. We'd be looking for full spectrum, more towards the yellow light if possible. Instead of having that blue light glaring down on the street. And then from what I understand, there's some of these LED modules have smart capacity, that you could plug in smart technology to it.
Well, that's what
So,
I'm asking
right.
about, if it has
Right.
it now. Michelle that was here last month, that worked for National
Mhm.
Grid, she said after the meeting that she's not sure if she thought that was an option, and then these may not have that. That's I'm asking them that
Right.
specifically. So we'll
Right.
find out about that before
Okay,
we go ahead.
it's been a long process.
Yeah.
I looked at my notes a year ago when we were talking about this.
Yeah, he didn't get back to it. He didn't answer anything, but she works there, and it was the next day or something. He contacted me. Helps
She
to.
contacted him
she
in the
helped
hallway
him.
or something.
And then Amanda Mosini with the regional planning development board, she helped out too, not contacting him, but with the questions and stuff, and she brought up these options about ownership that I didn't know about,
Mhm.
so.
All right, so
Yeah,
it's-
so it's all those people.
the
yeah.
wheels are still moving.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Board of Assessment Review, appoint current member to the board chairman. Jen, you're gonna have to talk about this one. This is.
Sure. So I had a conversation with Bill Bierup about this. Bill would like to see the board appoint someone who's already a member of the board to be the chairman of that board, to fill the spot for Jerome Clysap.
Mhm.
And then we would still be in, need of another member.
Right, but we would gain a chairman by doing this. So do we need?
Because Jerome was in charge of the board
Oh,
previously.
he was, okay,
Mhm,
And he was a member, right?
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
He was board member and chairman, so
mhm.
we don't need just a board member, we need a chairman too. So, yeah, do we need to make a motion to have this happen?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah, to appoint somebody, sure.
Mhm.
And I
So
can
what-
tell you who's currently on the board:
Okay,
Thomas Harris, Michael Hughes, Judah Curry III, and Michael Compton.
okay.
Do any of them have an interest in it?
I had not heard from any of them.
Well, why don't we make a motion that we allow them to choose a chairman
Okay.
from one of the four? Just so that we're giving them some direction to do that.
So we sent him a letter and that,
Is he looking for another member
We need another member to take
From
Mr.
this- from this board?
No,
No.
not from this board,
Okay.
No.
from
Okay.
anywhere.
a community member to take Mr. Clysap's spot.
Yeah.
But Bill is suggesting that someone that's been on the board take the
Serve as
chairman
chairman,
position.
yeah.
and on the grievance board.
Yeah, the Board of Assessment Review.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll make a motion.
Yeah, I don't think we have
So
to
moved.
Okay.
appoint someone. We could appoint their own chair.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so Dave made a motion. We need a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, so Jen, you'll follow up on that with
Yep.
the Board of Assessment Review?
Yep.
Okay, great.
When will they meet again? Do they just?
They meet
don't
once a
till
year.
Grievance day, right?
Once a year, grievance day in May.
That's really the only day they meet.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of training before that too. If somebody new comes on,
They can do it online.
they can do it online.
training, yeah.
So in terms of them appointing chairman, I would think that would be the first order of business of grievance day. I think they'd have to have a board there to do so.
Right.
So I think that would be when they do it.
Now, is Jerome done or is he going to?
He passed away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so he's
Yeah,
done.
he's done.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He can't do it.
So, okay, so we're still looking for a board member for that board. If anybody knows of anybody that wants to serve once a year in that capacity. Okay, new business, town audit update. As you know, we've been going through a New York State audit, it's a routine audit. The town of Preble hadn't been audited for about 20 years. And so our number came up this year and it was, probably a 7 or 8 month process. And Jen, you can attest to the fact that they were sitting here while you were here and going through
Yes.
the boxes of papers. And so this is the preliminary report, the draft here. And so we had an exit interview. I was there, Gina was there. And the most important quote that I got from the interview was that they did not find anything inappropriate. So that's what they came up, that was the conclusion, nothing was inappropriate, everything was in order. Of course, anybody who does an audit for a living has to find something, so they did say that there should be more oversight with Gina. That board members should.
And the cash disbursements, right?
Well, if you look at these, the key findings on page 3, town officials did not adequately segregate the bookkeeper's duties or implement mitigating controls, the board could improve its annual audit of the supervisor's records and reports. So it was just a little recommendation that we should maybe keep a tighter review on checkbooks and statements and things like that.
Stuff on time,
Yeah.
Sure.
So what has to happen now is that I have to respond to this, and there are two sections I need to respond. And Gina has been through many of these audits before, so she and I will be working on this together, and putting together appropriate wording and sending in the response on page 6 and 7, basically saying that, yes, this is our plan, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're going to keep tighter control of statements and oversight and that kind of thing. And so after that response goes in, then they will have a final document that they will publish. And it'll be open to the public to look at it if they wish. So, any questions on the audit?
Are we gonna see the response before it gets sent in?
We can email it to you, because we have to get it in by April 28th. So Gina and I, we could email it to everybody here. And you can look at it, and if you want to tweak it a little bit, you can. So that's what we'll do. Thanks for asking. Snow plowing contract, that's with Jeff, so we'll wait on that.
Yeah, basically, I've got the drafts here, you dropped them off. So basically, the county is looking to extend our agreement for 2 years. And so they basically, which is really kind of more efficient than it's been done in the past, they basically have an addendum to the existing contract of what is now expiring. And they just basically incorporated, there's Jeffrey. They basically incorporated the existing contracts we have in the county. As Jeff will tell you, they've changed the contract rate for the county plowing the county roads by what, 2%. So they've upped it in a minimum way. The mileage is the same, and it's now $4,310.77 per centerline mile. The $20,217.51 for the 23-24 season. Then it goes up to $43.96 from $43.10 per centerline mile for $20,621, which is an increase of $400 for the 24-25 season. So
Okay.
if you guys want to glance at that, but attached to that is the expiring contract that we put together a couple of years ago. So they're basically saying the same terms and conditions with a little bit change in the annual amounts.
Okay. So do I have to sign that?
So we would need a motion authorizing and adopting that,
Okay.
agreeing to that. And Jeff, I don't mean to steal your thunder. You may have something that comments either way on that.
A year ago, we were talking of, asking for a little more because of the pricing, but this year it's kind of a tough year to do it for the light winter we had, so. As far as other, we keep track, not just Cortland County, but Cuba, Shenango counties, what their rates are, which gives us, kind of a
Pretty
litmus
close,
test,
yeah.
what's going on and like that, so. But we're on the low end of it as far as the other counties go, but some of them do centerline miles, some do time and material, which this would have been a good year for that, so.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, it seems to be in order, considering not knowing what the weather's gonna do. It's a chance we take. Some years, I know we do lose a little, but I know we did pretty well this year.
Do we have any other questions about the snow plowing contract? We need to make a motion to accept the updated snow plowing contract for 2023-24.
Make a motion to accept the 23-24 contract, snow plowing contract.
2-year contract.
For 2 years,
2-year
two
contract.
seasons, 23, 24, 25, 25.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Darren? Okay.
There.
Jeff, while we're talking about snow plowing, do you want to make any comments on your highway report? I just-
Oh. Yeah, you got the copy, not a lot, kind of in transitional time of the year right now, going from 16, 17 days ago plowing some heavy wet slop to this weather. We took the new chassis and then the old auto car up to Viking, and just to give you a little background, 6, 8, 10 months ago, they couldn't get a chassis built. Ours came in along with a bunch of others. So they're slapping them in line like this now. We probably could have had it built in 3 or 4 weeks if it'd come in a month earlier. And now we're probably looking at midsummer. So that's just the nature of the beast these days. It's just, I'm not going to get excited about it because you can't change it. So they're working 2 shifts up there. And so yeah, that's just what's going on with that. I got 2/3 the equipment switched over. We always leave the little truck and the single axle plow truck until, at least the end of April. You never know. We plowed snow on Mother's Day before, so got to be ready for that. The thing I've been getting calls on lately is town cleanup. And so that's, as I mentioned last month, April 28th and 29th. Same verse as years past. And then with the dry weather coming kind of quick, we got a roller and we should finish up by mid-morning tomorrow rolling the ball field. It hasn't done in a few years and it's super rough. I wanted to get that before it all dried out. So that's about as rough as some of your fields. So, any questions?
Did you say the 20th, the 29th?
28th and 29th. It's a Friday and a Saturday.
Because I thought it was late.
And you're going to advertise it on the marquee at the Four Corners?
Yeah, we'll throw that on. And,
Okay.
put it on our thing the next couple of days too.
Okay,
So,
good.
there's a flyer out here. There's one at the fire station. Anybody wants to take one, we can print one off. It's the same verse, no garbage, just yard waste, trash, no liquids. So, okay.
And I think Jeff had mentioned on his report reference to the Electrify America. So I haven't heard anything recently. They had asked for like a temporary approval and we basically said no. So we really haven't heard anything since, and I think is it down mostly just to the paving, Jeff, at this
Yeah,
point?
and their engineering's pretty basic. They did on that because tractor trailers have already driven over the sidewalk up there and cracked it. And and this is the thing that putting a 3-sided peg in a square hole is really what they were trying to do up there, and it just all the grades are running just about flat. There's no I like to see 2% on minimum on anything. State of New York will take 1.3%, and we're basically at 0 point something. It's when you put water in it and it lays in it over 40 feet, pretty much the same. It's about as flat as you can get. So, which is what I told them they were going to end up with way back. But engineering wise, they come, oh no, we're going to have 10 inches of drop. And they just never took into account the physical apparatus to build it. You lose every step of the way when you do something like that. You lose due to the structure that you're using. 4-inch thick wall pipe, you lose 4 inches. The drop inlet, there's a 8-inch box beam at the top, you lose 10 so you've lost 10 to 12 inches before you put the thing in the ground, and you only had 10 to start with. But it is what it is at this point. So I would imagine they're going to be up there. They're starting to make black. Dave, have you heard that they haven't started yet? No, I I heard on the news this morning, Fulton's starting to pave. I don't know where they pull theirs on, but it's in the air. Maybe within a week, I would think they'll start batching somewhere that they can get some. So, any other questions?
I took your seat, buddy.
More?
Jeff had mentioned the ball field, rolling the grass in the ball field. This might be a good opportunity. Dave, do you have any comments about your plan with Hank coming up this year for mowing? Want to make a comment on that?
See how much Hank can do. He's doing more and more all the time.
Mhm. And he doesn't want to quit,
No, he doesn't.
no?
What he can't do, I'll take up the slack.
So, so we're looking at Dave helping Hank with the mowing, and they'll be splitting the paycheck, and they're both agreeable to that. So we'll start out the season that way and see how you guys do.
Well, should do okay.
If everything goes well, then we'll leave it alone.
I don't see why it won't, but you can't ever tell.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get hit by a car walking over to my truck tonight.
Thanks, Dave.
Cold tonight.
All right, Kevin, you're here. You're up.
I don't have much. Have you gone down to the Dwyer Park to see the pier? No, the pier.
Not yet.
Very nice.
It's nice.
Isn't it nice?
I've met people who went down there just to watch the construction
Yeah,
going on.
I mean, they pretty much got it done.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah.
No, Town of Scott, they were having their own issues before I could go. And that's why I was late, because they were like trying to figure something out why you can't pay their bills. I don't know. So Cortland County is opting out of the 487 real property tax law for renewable energies. So that's what we're going to be doing this month. We did hire the outside counsel for renewable energy. So that has been done. I know we touched base on it last month a little bit on that. As if anybody wants any idea or why did we do that, just ask. I thought I did that last month. Why?
You mentioned
Yeah.
it. You mentioned it, Kevin.
Yeah, just because we don't know what we're doing when it comes to that stuff. So for that, so that's what we're doing there. And really, one of the bigger issues that we've been dealing with now is actually mental health in schools. And so we're trying to get our mental health department into the schools more with the counselors, caseworkers, and so on and so forth. Because what we're starting to see is we're really starting to see 3rd, 4th graders wanting to harm themselves, which is unreal on how that gets that way. So it's a big urgency that we have. So we're going to be taking that on full steam ahead for that. Working with the state going on. And then we've had four deaths because of xylazine. Everyone familiar with xylazine? Yep, agriculture, veterinary. They're now, for some reason, it's anesthesia. Right?
Yeah, anesthetic, yeah.
So now what they're doing is they're taking this and they're lacing the fentanyl with it to get a bigger high. And now we're starting to see the deaths on this. It's also called the zombie drug because at the injection sites, it eats the flesh and all that. So we did see it. So we've seen it in Cortland County. So now they're really taking a good hard look at it, looking at the Food and Drug Administration of trying to find out where are they getting this stuff from, because it's a controlled substance. So they're really trying to figure that out. So we're working with the state for that one. And it's about,
It's Narcan resistant too, so.
So that you can't use that to counteract it. Huh?
that's all I've got.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks for the good news.
Yeah.
Budget amendments. Jen, can you speak about this?
Yep, Gina sent, everyone has a copy. Jeff, I have a copy for you as well. A list of the final budget amendments for 2022. She would like the board to review, and then we can make a motion to accept if everyone's in agreement.
And when she has this motion, then she can finish her annual report.
Correct.
Which is important to get done.
Yep.
So she would have had the annual report done sooner if she had gotten this to us last month. But she was a day late, I think, on that. So we need to make a motion to make these adjustments in the budget for Gina. Anybody want to make a motion for that?
Can you go down through those a little bit, Nick? So we know what's going on and everything.
Well, these are annual adjustments that Gina makes. She does this once a year. And transferring money from one account to another in order to keep things balanced. And so this is just a routine procedure that we do once a year. And we're not spending any money with this, it's just a reallocation from one account to another. Okay, I'll make a motion to accept these, the final budget amendments for 2022.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Carried. Okay. Let's see, where are we here? Okay, spring newsletter. We have the news. We're just starting the newsletter for the spring. So if anybody wants to write something for the newsletter, get in touch with me or Don Fisher. We're happy to have articles from anybody whoever wants to write an area of interest. And don't worry about formatting and grammar because we'll take care of all of that. Just give us an outline with bullet points and we'll create an article out of it. Put your name on it too. Memorial Day Parade is coming up next month, the end of next month. So we're starting to do work on that. And if anybody wants to help out with that, just let me know. We received $779 from USPS and $1,771.89 from Northeast Transformers. And now we'd like to open up the meeting for public comment or questions. If anybody has any questions for the town board or any comments that they'd like to make, please speak up at this time.
Just bounce back just a second. Amanda Barber through Soil and Water, they had a pruning, the 4-hour course. It's right down here at Little York. And a lot of pruning needs to be done down there. But it also covered chainsaw safety and everything. So I took guys down for 4 hours last Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. So it's good. Give us some ideas. You know, biggest thing they're against as far as a lot of what we do is usually every other year. I did it last year. We'll get like a boom mower and we'll hammer off a lot of the branches hanging into the road. And their studies are showing that you're opening the tree up to disease and things. So in a few years you'll have a tree that's now the tree's got to come down versus if you pruned it properly, you might have a viable tree for a length of time. So it kind of gives you some different ideas on how to look at a branch that's hanging in the road or anything like that. So that's worth mentioning.
Thanks, Jeff. Anybody else? Anything? Okay. We need a motion to pay the general fund vouchers.
Make a motion to general fund vouchers abstracts number 4, numbers 56 to 72, totaling $5,615.26.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Need a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers.
I'll make a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers, abstract number 4, numbers 29 to 39, totaling $8,914.43.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Good. So before we adjourn for the evening, the town board needs to go into executive session to discuss a personnel issue.
Signature.
Thank you.